Hello and welcome. This is Impact Yobe, your weekly roundup of news and activities in the pride of the Sahel. My name is Femi Akonde. Thank you for joining us.
As part of measures to assist Yobe State government in the fight against COVID-19, the National Primary Healthcare and Development Agency has donated some well-constructed hand-wash facility for further distribution to the 17 local government areas and other strategic places within the city capital. The State Commissioner for Health, who officially commissioned the distribution of the hand-wash facility, thanked officials of the National Primary Healthcare and Development Agency for the timely donation. He stressed that the facilities would be rationally deployed to all communities in the state.
These items were donated to the Yobe State government by the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, the National Program Implementation Unit of the Nigerian State Health Investment Project. There has always been a very close partnership. The NPACDA, the National PI have always supported Yobe State in different aspects, so this is actually not new. But then seeing the need, especially with the fact that we have a pandemic of COVID-19, so they need to further support the state in its quest towards preventing and control the pandemic in the state. My call to the citizens of Yobe State is that COVID-19 is real, and for us to be able to control this pandemic, we need to be responsible. Everyone must be very conscious of the prevention and control measures, and to ease and to provide for that. These units will be made available in the strategic locations in the local government areas. We'll call on all those that are responsible for these items to ensure that these items are adequately maintained, and ensure that they are always filled with water on a daily. As the water finishes, they need to replace it and ensure that all the items that are there will be made available, so that the members of the public will be able to utilize these items.
Speaking with Impact Yobe crew, the Yobe State coordinator of the World Bank-sponsored project assured that the partnership between the state government and the National Primary Healthcare Agency will continue to blossom.
As a state, we have to be very grateful to the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency through the NSHIP program for donating this, and we also assure the NPSCDA that will rationally deploy these commodities, as has been said by the Honorable Commissioner. We have agreed with the distribution template that will be used, and will ensure that they are actually functional in the facilities to which they are deployed.
As part of strategy to assist and boost the farming activities of Yobe farmers, Governor Mai Malabuni has launched the distribution of 103 tractors and sales of NPK fertilizers to farmers in a subsidized rate. Flagging off the ceremony at the August 27th Stadium, Governor Buni says the gesture by the government would go a long way to boost the 2020 cropping season in the state. In his speech, the governor reiterated that his administration will continue to give priority to agriculture and assist farmers in ensuring that their farming activities yield bumper harvest.
As a government, we are conscious of the fact that fertilizer and tractors are necessary inputs for increased agricultural output, especially in areas with climatic conditions such as ours. We cannot achieve our objectives of revitalizing agriculture without making tractor services accessible to our farmers. In this vein, the state government, in conjunction with the 17 local government councils in the states, have made available 103 tractors for distribution.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Honorable Mai Malabuni, in his wisdom, deems it fit to make agriculture priority sector of his administration. This he does with the formation of committee to revitalize agriculture in the state, who sat and provided numerous recommendations for subsequent implementation. Your Excellency, sir, dear farmers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity to remind all of us that agriculture starts from the field, and it gets its meanings in the homes, offices, dresses, shoes, education, etc., before it returns to the field.
Government has taken some measures to ensure that the fertilizers are not just sold to actual farmers, but fully accounted for. For this reason, all payments for fertilizers should be made in bank draft payable to Yobe State Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme account. Government has also constituted fertilizer and tractor distribution committees for the local government councils to check diversion and ensure accountability. All members of these and ad hoc duties should swing into action immediately and ensure that there is fairness, transparency, accountability, and proper remittance of the proceeds from the fertilizer sales and repayment of tractor loans into the coffers of the state government. To further accelerate issuance of our goals in agriculture, we have given a boost to the Youth Farm Empowerment Program. Already 1,000 hectares of land have been harrowed and planted, while fertilizer will be provided free of charge to all participating youth farmers.
The State Commissioner for Agriculture, Miro Amshi, appreciates Governor Buni for the revitalization of agriculture in the state.
Sincerely thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Honorable Buni, for the support he gave the Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources to conduct a geo-enabling initiative for monitoring and supervising all farms and capture all farmers in the state without any bias. As of now, we have captured a total of 33,450 small-scale farmers and 296 large-scale farmers.
Governor Buni noted that machinery has been put in place to monitor and supervise the distributed tractors and fertilizers in order to ensure items are judiciously utilized.
Let me say that for any government policy or program to succeed, the cooperation and support of all affected parties are necessary. I would like to therefore take this opportunity to enjoin all the beneficiaries of our agricultural packages to ensure that they put the items to proper use and adhere to the agreements reached with the government on payment of their dues within the stipulated time. I wish to take this opportunity to reiterate my appeal to you all to continue to pray to Almighty Allah to bless us with everlasting peace and security, beneficial rains and bumper harvest in this provinces.
Welcome to the interview segment on Impact Yobe. Our guest today is the Commissioner for Information, Home Affairs and Culture, Honorable Abdullahi Bego. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks so much for having me.
Let's talk about the plans, policies and programs Governor Mai Mala Buni has conceived for the states.
Well, His Excellency Governor Mai Mala Buni is fired up from the get-go. From the very moment he assumed office as governor of the state, he's made it very clear to all the people of the state that his administration is anchored on continuity, consolidation and innovation. His objective is to build on all the progress that Yobe has made during the previous administration of His Excellency Senator Ibrahim Gaidam, and all the progress that Yobe has made in the years before. And so far, he's taken a very scientific approach to taking Yobe to the next level, part of which includes convening summits and meetings with experts and stakeholders and people in key areas, especially in education and agriculture, to chart the way forward. Because despite the progress that we have made, and there are many of them during the period of administration, we know that the room for improvement is the biggest space in the world. Sure. So there is a lot more you can do despite all the progress that has been made in the past. So His Excellency Governor Mala Buni is pursuing this approach that is steady, that is anchored on facts and evidence, because we know that behind all the figures behind all the statistics about children who are in school or who are out of school, about poverty rates and all that, there are lives, real lives behind those numbers. And his intention is to ensure that he improves on the living condition of the people of the state across the board, across all the nooks and crannies of the state. And this is what he's focused on right now.
One of the first things the governor did was to declare a state of emergency in the education sector. And I believe there was a report submitted to him. He set up a panel, and that report has been submitted, and it is being implemented now. How are you? Have you been able to measure the success?
Well, the implementation is only just beginning. His Excellency Governor Malas Buni's focus is to have an education system that is very functional, that is skills-based. We used to have a situation where you have young graduates coming out of the university, coming out of a polytechnic or a college of education, and not having really hands-on skill, practical skills that will improve the material conditions, objective conditions of the people in which those graduates live, the communities where those graduates live. And we want a situation where we have an education that not just improves the imagination of our children, of our young people, but also gives them an opportunity to make practical contributions to Yobe State. So what we have right now are various stages of implementation of the report that has been submitted, including from the interim report that was submitted earlier before the final report.
Okay, speaking of education, the ministry has been split into two, basic and tertiary education. And you also know that Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children. What's the governor doing to ensure that no one is left behind, and also attention is being paid to girl child education in the state?
You know, His Excellency's focus is to ensure that our basic and secondary education levels are retrofitted and put back on track, because those are the levels that are key to whatever a child becomes going forward. And so he's focused on ensuring that 40,000, 50,000 out-of-school children are put back in school. And we also want to ensure that we have the best possible access for our girl children, for the female child to be in school. And already there is some progress, you know, across the board. But this is something that we can still build on. And His Excellency is keen to ensure that all the schools at the basic and secondary levels have all the resources and all the supplies they need to ensure that those out-of-school children that we intend to take out of the streets into schools have the facilities and resources that they need to learn.
Okay, let's talk about tertiary education now. But you agree with me that the education sector suffered a setback during the insurgency. Now, tertiary education, what's being done to improve that quality of education at the tertiary level?
Well, it's going on. Part of what the governor is doing, especially as far as the students are concerned, is to ensure that they have regular access to their scholarship, to their birthday allowances. And that has been going on since he came on board. It's been going on long before he came on board, but His Excellency is maintaining and building on what he made on the ground. Also, new management in our State University. Of course, the outgoing BC did a fantastic job, and the new BC, who incidentally was the chairman of the committee for the revitalization of primary and basic and secondary education, Professor Maladora, is now the Vice Chancellor of our State University. So there is a lot of effort in the direction of making sure that our tertiary education is meeting its full potential, and that over time more and more Yobe students will have an opportunity to learn right here in Yobe without having to travel elsewhere. within the country tonight. Remember that we also have a College of Medical Sciences now, which is a new college in our state university, and the objective is to ensure that we have indigenous medical doctors that are trained right here in Yobe and who will now go ahead and provide the medical service that we so desperately need across the state. So there's a lot of effort both at the primary and secondary school level and at the tertiary level.
Yeah, another critical sector where there's an intervention, a special intervention from the state government, is in the area of agriculture, because a large number of the population here are agrarian. What are some of those interventions and how were they specifically tailored to meet the needs of these farmers?
Yes, because in addition to education, His Excellency thought that agriculture is the next big thing in the lives of the people of Yobe State. Agriculture is key, and you can see is also His Excellency the Governor is also keen into the policies of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. If we are self-sufficient in food production, then we have what we call food security, and that will help us achieve other objectives, because when people are assured of at least the food that they need to survive, then people can think well. They can engage in meaningful economic, social activities, and at the same time be able to contribute to the society where they live. So His Excellency convened this agriculture summit as well, because I told you earlier that he's someone who believes in taking a scientific approach to addressing issues, ensuring that stakeholders, people who are in the know of some of these things, are actually on board, so that we have the best possible opinion and advice that we can use to make progress. So what His Excellency did was, after the Agriculture Summit, the report was submitted, and now we're in the implementation process. Already we have 103 Massey Ferguson tractors that have been procured jointly by the state government and the local government councils. And the formula is to ensure that all categories of farmers benefit. So we have young farmers and women farmers and more elderly farmers who have cooperatives.
Agriculture is one way the governor is also trying to lift people out of poverty and create employment. What are some other things that the government is doing to empower people, especially the young people, women and old people?
Well, there are levers that His Excellency the Governor is using to impact the lives of young people, both male and female, across the state. Recently, in collaboration with the local government council, His Excellency administration organized a training program for youth to engage in pen, to learn how to produce pens, so that projects awarded by the state government, contract projects awarded by the state government, will now rely on some of the indigenous suppliers that we have for paint, for roofing sheets, for other things. And then you have this economy turning around, making progress, people are becoming more engaged in economic activities. So 680 youth participated and benefited from that training. And at the end of the training, some of the tools that they need to go and set up their businesses, some of those tools were provided to those youngsters. In addition to that, I think around 50 mechanics were sent to the Peugeot automobile company in Nigeria, in Kaduna, to learn engine repairs, some of those things about how to maintain a vehicle and all that. So that was for mechanics, and I think the program is still ongoing. There are a lot of other effort that His Excellency the Governor is making to ensure that youth are given the support that they need to stand on their feet. But this is a work in progress. Under the State Emergency Management Agency, our SEMA, a lot of support is provided to communities that are hardest hit by the Boko Haram crisis, and that will help them recover and be in a position to support themselves, going forward. So His Excellency has started, but remember, His Excellency Governor Malabuni is only in this administration, only as governor, for just over the last 7-8 months. It's been fantastic how he started and what he's able to achieve so far. But going forward, a lot of plans are underway to ensure that that we provide our youth access to belonging. For example, the 2.8 billion naira market that His Excellency the Governor is building right now in the state capital in Damaturu. That market is engaging the service of many young people, you know, as suppliers of some of the things that the contractors need, as laborers, as even engineers. You know, in so many ways, that market project is engaging many young people, you know, and that does help them their own livelihoods and the lives of their families. You know, recently 3 factories that were dormant, that were inoperable. Those factories were resuscitated by the governor, including the Yobe Woven Sacks factory, the Yobe Aluminium company, and also the Yobe flour and feed mills. All of those companies will naturally engage the services of people in the state, including young people. So it's not something that is static. It's something that has been ongoing in various ways, in so many shades and forms, but it's definitely taking place as we speak.
Okay, lastly, sir, what are the people saying when you measure the feedback that's looking at all that the governor has done and is still doing just within a space of 7 or 8 months? What are the people saying? Are they impressed?
Well, I wish you're able to gauge those opinions yourselves, because then that will make the process more credible to your viewers, right? But there is no question. His Excellency Governor Mai Mala Buni is doing fantastically well as governor because he came to not just maintain what he found on the ground, but to build on what he found on the ground. And he's making progress in that. And remember, this is a state that has been hit by a crisis of security that is consuming a very large chunk of our resources, right? Boko Haram is a terrible problem, and a lot of our resources will have to go into ensuring that there is security, that there is return of peace. But regardless of all the effort in the sphere of security, in making sure that security is back up in the state, still His Excellency the Governor is able to execute all those programs that I've mentioned, including the sustain of industry, the construction of markets, the provision of training for youth. You know, we also implemented the new minimum wage here in Yobe State. Yeah, there was no argument, there were no negotiations. His Excellency just gave the directive that we needed to key in to what the federal government under the APC administration of President Muhammadu is doing, and he ordered that the new salaries be paid to workers, and workers started enjoying that back in January 2020. So with all the things that the governor is doing, I believe the people of Yobe are hugely impressed with what he's doing. And like they say in Hausa, Juma'ar da za ta yi kyau daga Laraba ake ganewa. That is a very
Friday that will look good.
Yeah, a Friday that will look good will be beckoned by Wednesday or from Wednesday, right? So that shows that if the governor was able to achieve all that he did achieve in just 7 to 8 months, it tells you that a lot is in the kitty, a lot is coming up, and we're very confident that with the commitment of the governor was his single-minded determination to move Yobe forward, that over the next 3 years and over the next term of the governor, by the grace of God, Yobe will be a much, much better place for all its people.
That's our conversation with the Commissioner for Information, Home Affairs and Culture in Yobe State, telling us about the plans, policies and programs of Governor Mai Mala Buni and how impressed the people are with his style of administration. Thank you very much for your time on the program.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
And that's our package this week. Until next week when we come your way again with fresh news and updates from the pride of the Sahel. The program has been Impact Yobe. And my name is Femi Akonde. See you next time.